Thank God for mistranslations. You guys might have seen my tier list video the other day, where I sort of gave a rough prediction as to where I thought this new deck list would stand once the new character releases, and obviously, at first glance, I really didn't think much of this brand new character, because after reading some of the new leaked skills, basically I lost all hope, because I read this skill, which says, monsters on your field to activate it have to equal level 10. Total levels, which at first doesn't sound all that awkward if the deck list sort of functioned in a way where getting those level of monsters on field actually made sense. Summoning a Dian Keto with a level 2 monster with absolutely F-all attack feels okay on your turn, then during your opponent's turn, you're just going to take a shit ton of damage in response because you have a 200 attack monster on the field. It would feel awful. Likewise, a lot of the cards in here are like a level 3 and a level 8. You have your level 4s and your level 3. Like, the deck list doesn't really function. It's not like you got 2 level 5s in here or something. It's just, it doesn't really function in just making a level 10 board for the skill to work. But thankfully, that skill was completely mistranslated. All you need to do is just, it's literally up to. So you have 2 level 4s on the field, you can just activate the skill. It's so much better and makes this deck list really, really good. So here's today's deck list. But just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of you are watching this or even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even subscribed yet. So you guys are enjoying this content or see more videos just like this in the future or more deck lists from me in the future, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so today's deck list is obviously going to be Aqua. Now this deck list, you might notice, it's got a lot of unique cards in here, or cards in here you haven't seen before, which is pretty cool considering currently in Rush Duel there's a lot of the same sort of stuff being regurgitated. So thankfully we've got a new art type with some actual new cards in it you might not have seen before. So the reason this deck list functions is all thanks to the brand new skill, Disco Fever. This skill, like I mentioned earlier during the intro, it is kind of mistranslated pretty poorly, so it's a lot better than it reads, and we'll talk about that in just a second. This skill can be used if you have at least 15 light attribute Aqua type monsters and the only level 7 or higher effect monsters in your deck are Aqua type. Requirements: can be activated during the turn you have normal summoned you have summoned a light attribute Aqua type normal monster. Effect: any number of light attribute Aqua type monsters on your field whose levels total equal 10 gain 700 attack until the end of this turn. This isn't what it means. It basically means if your monsters on the field up to 10, so you have like 2 level 4s on the field, you can activate the skill on those 2 level 4s. It doesn't actually have to equal 10 to use the skill, which is a lot better than how it's kind of worded. So hopefully they'll update this skill and rechange the wording a bit, because it's a little bit daft at the moment. It was very confusing at first, but anyway. Alright, so let's get into some of these cards. Starting off with your boss monster, who, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's a bit underwhelming. He's just she's just a 2500 attack monster that basically is just send one card from hand to the graveyard, gain 1000 life points. It's not exactly the most insane card around, just a nice little beat stick that can heal you, but in a deck list where we don't actually have any high level monsters thanks to the skill requirements, it's kind of a godsend. Alright, then we have your Rice Terrace. This card is, you might have seen this card in my last Yami Ruler video. This card is way better in this particular deck list because it can take multiple of your opponent's monsters based on how many Aquas you have and just change their battle positions. It's a lot better in this particular list. But it does obviously require you discarding a level 5 or higher monster, so you won't get to use it all that much because you don't really want to discard your level 8s, your level 6s or anything like that most of the time. Alright, then we have your Seahorse Carrier, and this card really does carry the deck list. During the turn you normal summon this card, you can add one light attribute Aqua type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. So it's basically like the Ultra Rare Karibo card, but just for Aquas. This thing, you summon it, grab back one of your cards, and yeah, extra resources. It's a really, really strong card. Alright, then we have your Torna the Windweaver. Requirement: send one card from your hand to the graveyard, change the battle position of one of your opponent's monsters on the field. This card is insanely good in this particular deck list because you'll notice, because we don't have that many high status monsters, we really do rely on being able to change your opponent's battle positions to make sure their big monsters goes to their lower defenses. It's very important to have this card in here. Also, in a deck list where we don't have Dragius, it can be really hard to sometimes push for damage on your opponent's life points if they just keep setting all their monsters face down. This thing can take your opponent's monsters that are in defense, chuck them up in face up attack position, and do a lot of damage to them. Alright, then we have your Seahorse Server. This card, it's not very great, but because we have 15 cards required, or 15 light aquas, it's kind of just, we really do take what we can get. You have a face-up light attribute aqua type monster on the field, gained 500 life points, so it's just a life point gainer, it doesn't really do a whole lot. We have your Summon Skull, just your big beat stick. We have your, just a bunch of normals, with the only really useful one being this one with 1400 attack. The others are fairly low statted, so normally you want to discard this one most of the time because it's literally just defense, no attack. And finally, we have your 2 spell cards. First of all, we have Party, Party, Party. This thing has no requirements. Change all attack position aqua type monsters on your field to face up defense position and gain life points equal to those number of those monsters times 400. So normally this thing gives you 1200 life points, which it's not the greatest card because obviously life point gain isn't that great in Yu-Gi-Oh! Most of the time. It's a lot better in Rush Duel at the moment because obviously there's not that much actual interaction going on, so just being able to keep yourself alive is a lot more important in this sort of format, so it's pretty good, but it's not the greatest card. I wouldn't be surprised if people decide just to randomly cut it for more fun things like a Pierce or something. You can definitely do that, but yeah, for now, it felt pretty good in the deck list, so I kept it in here. Then we have your Triple Threat Thunder. Now this card is like one of the main reasons this deck list is so successful, and if they ever give us more copies of this deck will definitely be a really, really top tier contender deck. This card, if your opponent if you have 3 face-up aqua type monsters on the field, change the original attack of one face-up a level 8 or lower monster on your opponent's field to 0 until the end of this turn. Insane. Take one of your opponent's monsters, make it 0 attack, already you can beat over it, so it's a good way to deal with some of those high attack started monsters without having to just change their battle positions, and you can just smack him in the face with a 2500 damage card, just like as if he was attacking directly. It's Pierce, but it's like attack position Pierce, and it's actually just an incredible card, so I really hope in the future they might give us one more copy of this at least, maybe some more level up rewards later on, because that will make this deck list just really, 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 really strong. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the deck list portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay showcasing this deck list in action, and without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, today I've got 7 replays to share with you guys, and all these replays were gathered from inside King of Games, and were all gathered during this nice little 10 game spree I played with this deck list, where I won 9 out of the 10 games I played with it, which I think is pretty goddamn impressive for a deck list that literally only came out today, so there's probably a bit of room to explore with this deck list, maybe make better iterations of it, but at least for now with this sort of first iteration I've made, it felt pretty goddamn strong, so yeah, let me show you in the replays anyway. Alright. So I think the coolest thing about this deck list so far is that, unlike most of the deck lists you play, a lot of those brick hands you see we just draw all high level monsters can't really happen with this deck, because you're only playing the level 8 and then a bunch of level 6s. You'll see what I mean, because the skill luckily carries your smaller monsters by giving them attack buffs, so you don't really need that many high level monsters, and of course the skill also locks you out of playing a lot of the good high level monsters anyway. Alright, so most of your turn 1s, if you're going first, are going to look like this, purely because, well, there isn't really anything you can do turn 1. Sometimes you can open your spell card, but then you can put all your monsters face up, activate your spell, turns all your monsters to defense, and you gain some life points, but otherwise, you're probably doing this most games. If you open 2 level 6s, you can probably summon another level 6 here too, just get an extra draw. But in this case, I like keeping this guy in hand because he's a fantastic card, so... Alright, putting these 2 dudes face up, this means I now have 3 aqua monsters face up, so I activate my Triple Threat Thunder, which now reduces one of my opponent's monsters to 0 attack. Alright, Tribute Summoning, I can now flip his face down, face up, buff these 2 monsters, and that is a shit ton of damage for a turn 1. If they ever give us a second copy of this, holy, this deck would be insane. Right, this guy's playing a deck that's designed to kill monsters that are over level 6 or higher. Unfortunately, I'm only playing, like, very few of them. I'm mostly built around the low-level monsters anyway. Alright, Tribute Summoning. Activating my skill, buffing up the boys. Beating over his stuff. Alright, summons out another one. Very easy to out considering he has 0 defense. Yeah, this guy wanted to use that monster to nuke the whole field, and my field's just never going to have high level monsters on it. Or rarely. Alright, Alright, he actually beat over the field, but it literally doesn't matter. Because I've already got the outs to the field in hand already. Just tribute summon, discard, change his battle position, and he already concedes. Alright. So just with that game one alone, you've probably seen just how good this deck sort of feels, because the skill gives you literally 700, nearly 1400 worth of stats on your field. It's pretty goddamn insane. You just do a lot of damage. And it means your deck list can beat over, like, everything. If you have enough battle position changing cards, which there are a shit ton in this deck list, you can beat over just about anything. Alright, this guy's going to do a triple set turn 1, which is kind of annoying because we don't have anything like the double attacking dragon or anything, so we can't just hit him in the face. This animation, by the way. Definitely the Boogie Master. Nice, now to beat over his monsters. What? Didn't even draw the card that could put one face up, tried a bit of extra damage, but it's whatever. Alright. We haven't got our Thunder set, so... Alright, Climax Beat, grabbing his Finale. Very depressing, they actually can't remove everything, he's only got 2 monsters, so... Alright, summoning, now we have 3 Aquas on the field, reduced to 0. Tribute Summon, activate our Fever, making these both over 2000, or this one's actually 1900, sorry. And hitting him in the face. Yeah, the skill plus this card actually competes with 7th Row Magician. At level 4, being able to compete with one of your opponent's main boss monsters is pretty crazy. Alright, normal summoning. This gives it a little bit of extra life points. Not the greatest of cards, but when there's not that many light aqua monsters to choose from and your skill demands 15 of them, we take what we can get. Alright, on to replay number 3. I noticed in a lot of these replays, a lot of people are playing this character too, but not actually playing the Aqua deck list. They're just playing the character to just level up for missions or whatever, or for the level up rewards. So that might also be a contribution to why we won a lot of games, because a lot of decks might not have had not using the optimal skills, because they were just trying to level up the character or get character rewards. Alright, this moment by that turn 1, by the way, if you open your party, you can just pull your monsters face up, still put them in defense, because this thing changes their battle position, and you just gain a bunch of life points for it. Alright, summoning the carrier, adding back the card from the graveyard, the normal monster. Summoning out another Boogie Master. It has to be one of the best animations in Duel Links now, actually. It's so goddamn good. Alright, Tribute Summon, getting a Summon Skull out on the field, a 2100 monster, and we just beat over everything. Our opponent is actually using one of the new skills, Boogie Master Draw, to grab himself the Seahorse. I tried this skill out quite thoroughly. It didn't feel that bad, but at the same time, it didn't feel that great either. Piercing damage. I still had 8,000 life points though, so I was pretty fine. Alright, going extra 500. Normal summoning, changing the battle position, and yeah, he's just dead on field. The main issue with this deck list over here, this guy's playing, at least with that skill, is that unless you're playing specifically like attack buffers, it feels really hard to just... It feels really hard to get through a lot of monsters because you don't have a skill that just attack buffs yourself. So your Dion Keto can't actually by himself beat over most of the standard boss monsters. If your opponent has the dragon monster, if your opponent has like... I mean, I've forgotten the name of the dragon monster, but the 2500 attack double attacking dude on field. If you have like... I don't know, the guy that floodgates you into defense. If you've got no attack buffs in the deck, you actually just cannot beat over those things. Even Summon Skull, you just can't beat over, you just have to trade into, which feels awful. But with this deck list, it's completely changed. The skill just fixes all those issues. Alright, it's not the greatest hand. Normally you want to have at least 3 monsters on the field, but one of the very unlucky hands we actually opened 3 big dudes. Which normally, by the way, in most deck lists, if you open 3 of your big monsters, you're probably just going to lose the game. But thankfully, because we have so many level 6s, we still end on a decent-ish sort of board and no bricks in hand, so we can actually draw a whole bunch of cards. Definitely one of the major upsides of playing this deck list. Alright, he's going to flip my dude face down. Now he can beat over it. Actually can't beat over this card, though, as well. He had a pretty rough hand by looks of things, too. Alright, summoning some dudes, changing the battle position. Basically playing around the Psychic Trap card. Can't hit him in the face. He just concedes. Didn't want to play any more of that one. Alright, final 3 replays. Alright.
Here I go! Get ready for the ride!
I was trying to read his name. It's like, what, Shirogane or something? I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but close enough. Alright, setting away monsters, not really doing a whole lot. I decided this time to tribute summon this one. I think this is a mistake. I think I should have kept this thing in hand like you saw in the last replay, because this card feels pretty goddamn good, so I feel like I should have kept this thing in hand, but anyway. Alright, use my triple threat Thunder, reducing to 0, and hit him in the face for 1 billion. Turn 1, he's already down to 1800. Here comes the Dragius. That's the card's name. Alright, sending a card to the top of the deck to the graveyard, smacking me in the face a little bit. But thankfully this deck list gains quite a bit of life points, so I'm not even remotely concerned. Here comes the Boogie Master. Alright. Changing the battle position, hitting him in the face a couple of times, making sure to play around potential trap cards. And he's gone. Alright, Major Duncan. Banger of a name. Actually, I haven't tried out this character's voice lines yet. Maybe we'll do it for the final duel, because I have no idea what she sounds like yet. I'm assuming it's not going to be the, it's going to be a little bit cringe, but we'll find out.
Here we go! Get ready for the rush!
Alright, once again, just setting our old hand turn 1. Letting our opponent do his thing. Hopefully he doesn't have a Dragius hit me in the face or a Pierce. Alright, summoning again. Tribute summoning out the Boogie Master. I don't even know if I got to use this card's effect once, this Rice Terrace. It's definitely a card you should run the deck list, but it's like, it just doesn't come up very often. I find you don't need it very often. But it's definitely very good in this particular deck list, considering if you have like multiple Aqua monsters, you can just change the battle position of multiple of your opponent's monsters. Alright, using his Recovery Force, hoping to hit something to try to deal with this field. Does get a Thunder to reduce, summons out a Kido of his own for some reason. Can't even deal with the field currently there, that's not looking too good for him. Don't have that many Aquas on field yet though, so didn't bother using the threat. Didn't want to turn these guys into defense either, obviously. Did have to crash our summon Skull though. Oh god, yeah. So this deck list also doesn't really care about Yami Ruler, which is another major advantage of it, because whilst people are playing this card to sort of counter all those Dragon Caster deck lists, this deck doesn't care about it at all, because we're all level 6s, so we're just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just reduce its thing's attack to 0, summon to do the change in the battle position, and we can beat over it. It does sometimes care about it, because obviously it's kind of hard to get over 2500. So unless you have that spell card, it is kind of difficult, but at least you can sort of set up a field. You just have to just set and pass, like a lot of decks do have to do. There's some Yami Roller. Or at least you can take out some of the smaller monsters, until you can draw into the actual outs for it. Alright, final replay. I'm hoping I use Rice's effect during this duel, because otherwise it'd be kind of a shame if I don't get to use the card at all. I need the replays. It means the only time I think I used him might have been the loss I had, which is a bit of a shame. Alright. Comes another, one of the other better animations from Rush Duel. Might be the best one. Thankfully my opponent can't hit me in the face yet. Too many face downs, so we're chilling. Alright, he's gonna gain a little bit of life points himself. We're gonna copy him. Oh no, we're not gonna cheat because I saved it. We've used it on next turn. Because obviously I don't own monsters in defense. Burns me for 300, summons another dude. And quite easily clear the field. Alright, summoning, that's triple Aqua on field, activating my spell card, changing their battle positions, I'm use these as tribute anyway. Reducing to 0, tribute summon over it, changing this card's battle position. And beating over his stuff. Oh, that's very depressing. Can't even use this card's effects, he's scared of dying. Which, to be fair, definitely saved him at least. Because he 100% would have died. Alright, out comes the Boogie Master. Whilst we can hear the life points going down in the background. Nice bug. Alright, Disco Fever, buffing up the dude so he can beat over his card and not be scared of any, Oh yeah. I 100% should have buffed up this guy so I could have taken out 2 of his monsters. That was just a, bit of a brain fart there. Because we knew what his face down was, but I'm not too scared. I got 5,300 life points. He has 1,000, has under 400, so, under 1,000, sorry. So I'll just kill him on the next turn. Gives us another opportunity to summon another, DN Keto, so why not? Alright, and he is gone. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them, and hopefully this video gave you a sort of rough idea of just how good this deck list actually is. I'm not sure how good it'll be once it's sort of played against in the meta and how it sort of develops a bit, but at least for now, whilst people have no idea what it does, and it's just feeling pretty goddamn strong, yeah, give it a go. It's not that expensive. The most expensive card's obviously the Keto, but outside of that card, most of the rest of the deck is pretty cheap. So yeah, if you've got the cards, give it a go. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Remember to subscribe. And yeah, see you in the next video. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.